fractions of a second on a transaction make a difference to us. If I've got 250, 300 people waiting in line at a bar to get their drink, if I can shave, a second or half a second off a transaction, that translates to real dollars at the end of the night.
Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I'm your host, Shawn Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. We are very excited because we started this show with the goal to talk to the best hospitality operators on the planet. We've been doing the show since 2017. We believe that all businesses need to be digital first, especially brick and mortar businesses. We believe that hospitality exists in real life, but that technology can actually help us provide better hospitality. Today, we have J Goldin. He is the systems director at Riot Hospitality Group. Jay, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Can you high level Riot Hospitality Group, how many venues you operate, how many states? Give us an idea into some of the concepts.
Riot Hospitality Group operates 14 venues across 3 states. We're headquartered in Scottsdale, Arizona. We also have Nashville and Denver. We are in the high-end dining and nightlife space, primarily high-end nightlife. And, if you want to have the best party you've ever been to, you're going to come to one of our spots.
When did you become part of Riot Hospitality? What brought you in?
I've been part of the organization actually since its founding. Initially, I was a vendor actually before I came in-house full time. I started by designing the sound systems for the clubs. Then at some point, they decided they wanted to have an in-house technology person, and they approached me to come on board in that capacity. And then over the last 6-7 years, my roles expanded to include not only working in our audio video world, but also facilities, IT, business systems, and processes. And so the title systems director was kind of born out of that. Basically, I'm fond of saying I'm a company nerd, and I'm fond of saying if it plugs into a wall for power, gas, or internet, it's my responsibility.
So you call yourself a full-time process nerd. Bring us into when you walk into a restaurant, one of your venues. What is something that you see that other people don't?
I am always looking around the edges, right? I feel like when a restaurant has the small details really well handled, then they're doing the big things well. And so, obviously I don't think that's a controversial statement, but I'm looking for, sort of overall cleanliness. I'm looking for the places that are going to be neglected in just a rush cleaning. I'm also going to want to look at sort of the areas around the POSs to make sure those are clean and organized. And I find that when I go to any restaurant, the more sort of concise and well put together those elements are, the better experience I'm going to have as a diner overall.
How did you help build out the tech stack for Riot Hospitality Group?
It's been a really cool journey. Over the last few years, we've really grown our tech stack immensely. But the focus for that entire journey has been, what can we do to simplify life for our operators? We've got an incredibly talented group of managers. And the people that we hire because they have incredible charisma, incredible personality, and understanding of what hospitality really is. And they throw in an unbelievably good party. Sometimes that group of personality traits doesn't necessarily lend itself to someone who is super analytics driven, super data driven. You can get a rare unicorn who is both things. But, so the journey that we've been on over the last few years is, what can we do with being digital first and mobile first and data first to simplify the lives of the operators and to make it so that they spend less time in offices reading reports and more time on the floor with the guests making great decisions around the business.
How do you decide which vendors to partner with?
The first thing that we look at is we look at flexibility and agility. The space that we're in high-end nightlife is pretty unusual in the hospitality space. We run into a different set of challenges and a different sort of scale. Everything's big, everything's fast. When I'm evaluating a POS, for instance, fractions of a second on a transaction make a difference to us. If I've got 250, 300 people waiting in line at a bar to get their drink, if I can shave, a second or half a second off a transaction per transaction, that translates to real dollars at the end of the night. And so the first thing that we're looking for is flexibility and adaptability. The second thing we're looking for is we really like to partner with people who have a hospitality focus. There's so much technology in the world, and everybody wants to sell you something. But we find that time and again, when we partner with people whose primary business is within the space, we end up working with people who have more of an understanding of the unique challenges in the industry.
So we believe obviously in best in class technology. We believe that humans actually are the heart of technology. So when we evaluate not only our tech partners at our barbecue restaurants, but also our content partners, we're looking for the humans that are reshaping globally. I believe that we're just really early in this digital transformation for all businesses, nightclubs, coffee shops, brick and mortar, any type of business. I would love to learn tell us your Kickfin story. How did you learn about Kickfin, and how did they become an integral partner in what you guys do?
Yeah, so Kickfin started. We started with Kickfin several years ago. I would say it was actually right about 2020. We got started with them. We're a pretty early adopter, and the initial point of that platform for us was to eliminate cash payment. Paying out cash. We didn't feel comfortable necessarily with our staff leaving with a lot of cash at the end of the night, going into a dark parking lot. And then there's also the accounting and compliance issues around kind of handling that much cash. And it's a lot of administrative burden for managers. And so the initial step that we had with Kickfin into the organization was just as a tool to pay out tips. And we were still on Excel spreadsheets, doing all the tip calculations, and then we would bring that data into Kickfin to do the payout. Then about 2 years ago, we got connected with a product called Dolce Software that was really a really cool product that automated tip calculation. Mm-hmm. So we were able to build our templates into that system. It connected to the POS, it connected to the time and attendance system, and it knew somebody clocked in as a server who was ringing sales during this time. This was the tip behavior. Mm-hmm. And so it took that process of paying out tips from an hour to 90 minutes, depending upon how busy the night was, down to about 15 minutes, which we were really pumped on. Then some things changed with that company, and we had to make a pivot. And our partners at Kickfin approached us and said, hey, we've been working on a tip calculator internally. We're about to bring it to the world, within the next few weeks. We want to show it to you. And we sat down with Justin and Mike and the team at Kickfin, and they showed us what they had. And myself and my partners here were just blown away by the elegance and simplicity of the design, by how easy it was to configure the rules. And so we went down the path. And in the nightclub industry, our tip rules can be really complex. A lot of different tip outs, a lot of shares and pools. And lots of variable behaviors based on sort of what's happening operationally on any given night. And so the platform at that point wasn't quite ready for that level of complexity. And what Justin Roberts, who's the CEO over at Kickfin, he committed to us is that if we could give them 90 days, they could make the platform what we needed it to be. And I've heard a lot of promises from a lot of tech companies over the years. And I needless to say, I was just flabbergasted when at day 83 or day 84, they put into production the product that we needed. Wow. They hit the timeline. They were actually ahead of schedule. And not only did they deliver the complexity that we needed, but they built the back end of the platform to be so flexible that any foreseeable changes, I couldn't imagine designing a scheme of tip allocation that the system couldn't handle at this point. And so we were just blown away at how smooth that process was, and the way that they honored their commitment and really made us feel super valued as a partner was huge. We were on a weekly call with them where they were explaining every step of the process and what they were doing, as we were winding down our other solution, winding theirs up. and it's been absolutely incredible. I told you that we were pumped to take paying out tips from like 90 minutes to 15. With how elegant and clean this platform is, we're down to like 4 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's unreal. It is unreal how much efficiency. I mean, we're handing back an hour plus to the managers every night to interface with the crew, get the restaurant clean, get out of there earlier, which helps control labor. I mean, we're talking about all those soft costs and anything that we can do on like a as a management team, as a leadership team, providing support to our team, anything that we can do to relieve administrative burden, right? Anything I can do to reduce their paperwork, to reduce the time they can spend in the office, to reduce the amount of anything they're doing that doesn't directly connect to the guest experience, that's a win. That is like, to me, the gold standard of what technology in the hospitality space should be doing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, that's why we started this show. That's why we partner with the partners that we partner with. That's why I'm so excited to hear your guys' story. It's, when you think about these aha moments of technology, I mean, that's what the sale is usually from tech vendors is, hey, you're going to relieve this pain point and you're going to be more profitable and you're going to get time back. But like, the promise is real. Like, it's actually real when the tech works, because now could you imagine going back to your team and saying, we can't use it right now. Like, we have to go backwards.
No. And
can you imagine?
That's what we ran into
like going back to paper tickets.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what we ran into with the Dolce product.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, was no longer available to us. And it was actually like something approaching an existential crisis.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't conceive of going back to spreadsheets after having been on an automated platform. I couldn't imagine doing that to my operators. And so, it was definitely not an option. we certainly had to find something to replace that with. And the guys at Kickfin, the team at Kickfin really, really stepped up and blew us away.
The shifting U.S. economic forecast is unclear, but one thing is certain: your operations will be affected. The National Restaurant Show is uniquely positioned to deliver solutions that address both current and emerging challenges for restaurant and food service operators, ranging from supply chain diversification to cost savings equipment that helps navigate today's fluctuating labor market. The 2025 show builds your resiliency to face the winds of change head on. Join your peers at the industry's most trusted event taking place in Chicago, May 17th through the 20th. Secure your badge for the restaurant show for food service today. Visit the official website at www.nationalrestaurantshow.com and register with promo code SHAWN25, SHAWN25, and save $25 off the current registration rate. This offer is exclusive to my podcast subscribers, and this offer expires on May 9th, 2025. This offer is also valid only for operators only. Non-exhibiting suppliers are subject to a higher badge rate. We will see you in Chicago. If another restaurant owner, bar, nightclub operators, if they hear this, what would you say about why they should consider switching to Kickfin or using Kickfin?
I think that what we found with Kickfin is a group of partners who are delivering a technology solution with a really clear and obvious value proposition that's really rooted in connecting to us as a team, and really understanding our operation. And that's pretty rare and pretty valuable when you can find it. And I think that probably Kevin, who's one of the chief programmers over at Kickfin, probably at this point understands our tip rules better than anybody who doesn't work for my company. And like inherently he knows it, right? And we'll be reviewing the product together, and he'll be like, "Hey, is that supposed to be the buster tip out at that location?" And well, yeah, it is. But the fact that he even knows to ask that question is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are, like you said, it's about the people, and the people there have just just continuously blown me away. We're opening another location in the next few weeks, and then several more locations in the next couple of months, and even as far as just setting up and configuring the new locations with POS integrations and all that. I sent them over the merchant ID, the MID from
Hmm.
the POS, and the new site was up and going in about 35 minutes.
It's amazing.
And it was fast, it was easy, there was just really nothing to it. And they were ready to help with anything else that we needed. And if I could have every partner in my tech stack be that considerate and deliver on their promises in that degree, I'd be in a really incredible place.
I would love. I have to ask you. There's lots of celebrity concepts out there, but somehow, some way, your Dierks Bentley Whiskey Row. Not only does it connect. Explain to me what's the secret. Because I obviously Dierks Bentley is a huge name,
Yep.
phenomenal singer, phenomenal talent. But as I said, there's lots of celebrities, lots of athletes that have put their names on things. But the levels of success you guys are seeing in these venues is unreal.
Yeah, I think that one of the things there is that the concept connects to what the guests feel about Dirks authentically. They have a relationship with his music. They have a relationship with who he is and what he represents to them in their community. And the product that we're looking to deliver, the guest experience that we're looking to deliver when people come to visit us at that concept, really speaks to all that. It's got a little bit of an edge to it. It's a lot country, but it's a little bit rock and roll. And the idea that they're going to that concept and getting an experience that makes them feel like the same emotions they receive when they listen to his music, and the same sense of fun and the same sense of connection to the people around them. That's what we're going for there, and it really does connect with people. It's been a really fantastically successful concept for us.
So for those that are outside of hospitality that are obsessed with technology the way you and I are, what reason should they consider potentially getting into restaurants, nightclubs, bars? Like why do you love doing what you do?
Um, I actually almost think it goes. I almost actually think it goes the other way.
Hmm.
I think that you have to start with a love of hospitality and a love of connecting to the guests and wanting to deliver something. I mean, if you think back on maybe your family life growing up, and if throwing that big Sunday dinner where everybody came over and gathered around the table, if that's something that's some of your fondest childhood memories, or
Yeah.
for me, it was I'm as I said, I'm a nerd, right? For me, it was hosting game night and having friends over to at my house, and thinking of what cool charcuterie I could put on the table to impress my friends while we played board games. If that's something that's really important to you, then maybe you're someone who should be in the industry, should be in the space. And I think once you've got the heart for it, then the technology flows out, right?
Yeah.
I don't know necessarily, if you don't connect to the hospitality first, all the technology in the world is irrelevant. Um, and so I think you start. It's not tech in. It's heart out.
I love that. That's a great answer. And if you guys are watching, listening, we appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Please check out, we just launched a restaurant technology Substack newsletter. So
What's
if
up?
you guys want to, please, yeah, Jay, check it out. I would love some feedback. We're always looking for new technologies that owners, operators are using all over the world that are helping improve hospitality. So please check out the Substack newsletter. Jay, how can people learn more about Riot Hospitality Group? Visit your guys' venues. Where's the best place for them to go?
Well, if they're in Scottsdale, Nashville, or Denver, the best way to experience our venues is to come in and see us. We'd love to host you and show you the hospitality that we're talking about. If you're outside of those markets, I know Southwest has really affordable flights to Phoenix and Scottsdale all the time. So we'd hop on a plane. We'd love to see you. If not, you can see us at riothg.com, riothg.com. That'll keep you up to date on all of the stuff that we're working on.
That's awesome. And I'm weirdly available. You guys can reach me at Shawn P. Walchef. Instagram, LinkedIn are probably the quickest response. I value responding quickly, but we appreciate you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to join our live shows, we do live shows every Wednesday, every Friday. We are grateful, Jay, for the time. Thank you so much. Like I said, I feel starting this show was a passion project. I never thought that we'd actually build a different revenue stream and build a media company on top of our restaurant. But here I am able to connect with the greatest operators and minds in the industry. And I can't wait to come and check out your guys' venue. I love what you guys are doing.
Awesome. It's been a real pleasure, Shawn.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jay.